So, Jeff, we've got another nugget. We're going to get started here for breaking the ice. And what better else to have a veteran of it to try out our new platform that we have? So, if
New
this,
new look, new platform, and we're
uh,
rolling the dice with a veteran.
that's right. That's right. We already told him he's going to be a guinea pig on this episode. So he went into this willingly. So we appreciate that. But if you did not catch that, the most viewed episode for 2025 is our famed guest, Lonny Warner, that's with us. We'll do a more
That's
formal
right.
introduction in a second, but we always like to get started with a question. So a little bit more of an intro than we normally do. But Lonnie, as far as Ready Ice's growth and the new acquisition of Arctic Glacier, what role do you expect technology to play in the next 3 to 5 years? Would you say?
Oh, it'll be big. I mean, like everyone though, I think many people are learning their way on AI and other innovative tools, which I'm sure we'll talk about. But it'll play a big role, especially over the next 5 years, in my opinion. Big role.
So today we're happy to be talking to you again, Lonnie. For anyone who doesn't know Lonnie, he is the CEO of ReddyIce, the largest packaged ice provider in the United States, and really, after the acquisition, I think we could safely say in the world. Um, he has a he has been a major innovator in how this simple product gets made, moved, and managed and distributed around the country. Lonnie brings background in leading complex distributed businesses and has been focused on using technology and data and smart assets to modernize the ice supply chain from plant to point of sale. We're excited to talk to him about software, hardware, AI, whatever he'd like to bring up, technology wise, and how that's helping Ready Ice make faster, better decisions across their organization. So, um, glad to have you back, Lonnie. Um, as we think about the changes that you're seeing over the next 5 years, you've got a massive physical network to manage plants, fleets, in-store systems like the ice factory. How do you think about investing in smart assets and connectivity, and how that's able to equip your team to make better decisions?
Well, first, thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it, and perhaps maybe it'll be the next number one watch session this year.
Hey,
Maybe we
we'll
can make it.
see. Okay, buddy, we'll see.
Maybe we can make it a repeat. I don't know.
That's right. That's right.
But thanks for having me. Look, um, the team at Ready Ice and the team that of Arctic Glacier team members we just added. Um, One thing that I've communicated to them is we're process driven, and so technology can enable you to evaluate processes in a near real time, and I'll use near real time. And so what that is the ability to take disparate data in a very quick way and assemble it to where you can make solid decisions moving forward. And that's around three things, right? It's around how do you service your customer better, how do you operate efficiently, and how do you provide a really great work-life balance for your employee base? So those are the three things that we're trying to do, right? Make the job a little bit easier for employees, but make the performance and service better for our customers.
Yeah, you've been you've said that tech is an enabler of basically being able to shorten the decision easy for me to say cycle, for time and culturally the organization and things like that that your team actually trusts the data. So we all know we've been hearing about AI and some of the I say indecisions, but some of the inaccurate information you almost have to go back and ask it 2 or 3 times. And I've done this a lot on like travel planning, and I'm trying to. My son and I have a goal to be able to hit all 32 Major League Baseball parks at some point.
Mm.
Okay, so we've only hit besides Truist Park, which is where the Atlanta Braves play. We went out and hit the Royals field, which is Kauffman Stadium. And there's a reason I'm saying all this is because I'm using AI to try to get a little bit faster as far as be able to go see. I can't go one a year at my age. I'm not going to be able to make that, right? There's too many baseball stadiums to go to. But I have caught it so many times. I'm like, no, they're not playing at home. Don't, trying to make it like a three city trip, maybe by train, but it stumbles over itself. So my point being, you know, when you're asking AI a question, how do you validate the results, or what are you seeing? I hope that question makes sense.
No, so look, when you so first of all, when you say technology, and I tell you it's going to impact the company, it's not just artificial intelligence. That's just a piece of the equation for us. Whether it be here at ReddyIce or my previous leadership roles, one of the things that we've done is digitize our network. And what that allows you to do is it allows you to see your network real time, and it allows you to run what if scenarios with different software and applications and using different data sets. And to answer your question, though, it's those data sets we know are accurate because they're within our closed system. So they're data coming from either our data tools, and we know and we validated the quality of those data elements and sets. And so we can trust that data and modify that data. When you look at some of the largest or some of the best medical communities in the world that are evaluating cancer and other types of things, Ethan, one of the things that Mount Sinai or whether it be Stanford University or some of the other hospitals and universities in the country, they don't just take any data. What they have is a very specific network of accredited locations and facilities that input the data and have the data, and they're trusted. So when they're running their analytics or they're sharing information across those institutions, they know the data is quality and they can trust what it's telling them. So, my first answer to you would be that you have to make sure you understand the data set. When people are out there on Chat GPT or other forums,
Right.
the bottom line is it's pulling for anything that's public knowledge. And so you can't control that. You don't know if that's real. Now, look, it's great when you want to say, hey, how do I, hey, can you clean up my communication or my letter to whoever, right? Can you tell me what my taxes would be if I made this much money and, I have these many blah, 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 and it'll spit it out for you. It'd be pretty darn close. You're still going to want to have a professional tax accountant look at that. Okay.
Right. Right.
But I would just tell you it's controlling the data set. That's the bigger element around your question there, in my opinion.
So to put that in layman's terms, basically, instead of asking questions out into the universe of AI, Chat GPT, whatever tool, instead of just throwing it out there to the ocean of knowledge, you're you're able to say, hey, use the data that we have in our company, whether it's ReddyIce or some other company, um, is being able to take that smaller, more specific pool and saying, this is our source of truth. Now make
Make decisions. Yeah.
conclusions and decisions based on that. Correct?
Yeah, and then look, you can ask AI to go out and tell you what it thinks is out in the universe, but
Hmm.
it's just a data sample of like you don't have an idea of what that is. You can use it to kind of give you as a guide point, but we don't use it to make real strategic decisions. We're using our business partners and a data lake that we've built that allows us to draw from disparate systems. That's a beautiful thing is you can drop all this data into a data lake, and as long as you put the what I'm going to call the ecosystem around that data lake, and you don't let anything come in or go out, which we have, we've written a policy on AI for our employees, and we'll actually be sharing that with our new team members from Arctic Glacier. But um, that's how you control the data, and that's how many other companies. I mean, you guys could go back and reference Jeff Bezos' comment to Amazon employees probably 10 years ago when he said, basically, if you do anything, whether it be a spreadsheet or whatever, you're doing it and you're loading it into this system, and that's the only data and system you're supposed to use. And
Hmm.
he said it pretty more aggressively, like, otherwise you'll be fired.
Right.
Uh, I don't know if I have to be that aggressive, but it is an emphasis point when you start to try to use, whether it's AI or anything, it's using quality data to make decisions.
How's it going to be? I almost want to compare it somewhat to, the personnel that you have. I mean, uh, you want to find quality employees, and the ones that you can trust. You can give them a call. You can get a square answer from them, and you don't always just want yes people around you, right? But you try to create a ecosphere, if you will, of
Mhm.
trusted employees that you could go, or just for you. I'm sure you've got people, mentors, you've got other peers that you feel like you can call and get a straight answer. So I feel like you're trying to encapsulate in what you're talking about here, as Jeff said, and what you've already said, that it's things that human nature, we've already tried to define before. It's not like what we're trying to do and put the guardrails on AI is any different, as far as you called it, I think the truth, right? As
Mhm.
far as what ready you guys want to be able to get. I don't know if you want to talk to that any at all, Lonnie.
Yeah, look, when I arrived, ReddyIce, I mean, a lot of people said, "Hey, man, we got great data." ReddyIce had a lot of data. I would tell you some of the data was great, and some of the data was not so great. And so, we've got a data scientist on our roster. We've brought some different team members in that are very strong around data analytics, and managing that data, and very critical thinkers around data and how that has to be managed and controlled. And so, in fact, even monitors the quality of data coming in and out, just to make sure we're not getting something that's um, maybe has a flaw in it from a little bit of a code line problem. Maybe somebody did a software upgrade and all of a sudden it's impacted something. We can catch it right away, as opposed to going, "Holy smoke, something blew up 2 or 3 months ago, and it's really messed up our operations or our data." So we've put talent around it, and we put emphasis on it.
Okay.
Mhm.
Have you ever used a tool? It's a Google tool called Notebook LM. Have you
I
ever heard
I
of that?
I personally have not.
Okay. Well, I just want to give, for those that are listening and they're trying to figure out how, because Ready has resources, right? So you guys have a quality IT department, things of that nature. But if you're a slightly smaller, I'd like to give you a little bit of a tip out there. But Notebook LM, just Google that. You can go out there, and Notebook LM allows you to find things that you qualify as good sources, whether that's PDF, handwritten notes, it could be YouTube channels, it could be websites. You load that all up into a notebook, and then when you ask AI questions, it's not going out into the ecosphere of the totality of what Lonnie, you were talking about with Chat GPT, but it's those validated sources, very similar to what Lonnie was talking about that they've done there. That if you have those validated sources that you want to do, it gives you a very easy way to be able to go in and ask it, and allow AI to give you or you can ask questions of it, and it'll give you responses based on those trusted sources.
Right.
So
And
just something to go out.
that's a totally free option for folks.
Right.
You can do quite a bit with it for free before you would ever have to upgrade to a
As of
paid
this
tier.
recording. So
Right,
we'll have
right.
to say that, but it would be a good tool out there. So,
Yeah.
Lonnie, I have to give you props, by the way. The best background, and that's not AI, right? Behind you?
That's
All
not a filter.
right. Not a filter. He had to be pumping in the sound and everything. But yeah, that's a beautiful setting. You may, we don't know if you'll get the award for 2026 for the most viewed BTI, but we'll give you the greatest background of all our years. So
That's
we have an
fantastic.
icebreaker I wanted to ask you, Lonnie,
Sure.
and it, of tech buzzwords, and if you're ever sitting in a meeting, is there one that just makes your eyes roll? And to be fair, I can start, I can give you one of my own, but if you're sitting in a meeting, if you hear somebody say a particular word, what would that be that just, you're just like, come on now? Do you have anything?
Uh, not not necessarily. It's not really a tech word. I use different words. I'll give Gary Kowalski, my mentor, credit for this. It's the words that go in front of whatever word, whether it be tech. Should, could, will. Those are
Okay.
red flags.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
And what people don't realize is they're telling you subconsciously, hey, should means they don't know, or they don't know if it's really correct, but it should be. And they will, I'm going to, but I haven't done it yet, is really what they're
Right.
telling you. Yeah. So those are the words
No,
Yeah,
that's good. That's good.
especially when you're in a meeting, you're going, "Wait a minute, either you know or you don't know."
Right.
What are we
Well,
talking about here?
you trust your product or service or you don't.
Right,
It's
right, right.
it's yeah, it's not should, could, or would. It's,
Well,
yes.
I was, I had more prep time, to come up with this, but it's been on my list. My team here knows this pretty well. Mine isn't. It's very similar to you. I don't necessarily have a word like synergy or something that just makes me roll my eyes, but it's more of when people talk about we have a meeting, but then all we're doing is talking about meeting for the next meeting, and we're not actually getting anything done. So if I hear the word next meeting before I hear any actual tangible, viable something out of the meeting, it drives me crazy. So that's mine. So, but we
I
really
love it.
appreciate you joining. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, Lonnie, what you got?
No, I said I love it. That's that's fantastic. Synergy. Leverage is another one that's kind of
Yeah.
interesting. It's just a broad term that people use. Or let me send you that when we get done here. And you're like, no, no, no. What? Do you either have it or you don't have it? I'll tell you a quick story. It's a fun story. So I was working for a supply chain management company at the time, and we're sitting across the table from three individuals from a very well known company called Google, and we're in their corporate office in Mountain View, and we're working on a few things around inventory management and some technology around that. And so I got my three IT guys sitting at the table with their three IT guys, and we're talking about some of the elements of the project and what we're doing and outcomes and what have you. And I never will forget. It's a classic. My guys are sitting there. One got a computer open, one's got pen and paper, and the other guy's just sitting there listening. And the other three guys have laptops in front of them. And we get to the end of the meeting, and our IT guys, hey, great appreciate the time, great meeting. I'll tell you what, we'll send this back to you in about 3 days. Our thoughts. And the guys from Google said, no, 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 we've already got the solution. They turned their computers around and said, here's what we think the architecture should look like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just they work, so you just have to have a
Yes.
mindset to work at a different speed, different pace, and through a different lens. And you were
Yeah.
talking earlier about the talent that I brought in. That's some of the difference than maybe the former ReddyIce that people may or may not be aware of. But that's how you have to work and think. And that was made a pretty big impression on me a long time ago or early in my career.
Mhm.
Well, sounds good. You haven't been too busy lately, have you? I mean, a few big announcements. I mean, I say, are they big? I don't know. So, well, we appreciate you taking out a few minutes of your time. Jeff, you got any wrap up questions?
Yeah, I really don't. I just want to say congratulations. That was a major announcement, taking on a huge challenge. We look forward to seeing where you take it and how the brand grows and helps the industry nationwide, maybe, um, but I guess larger than nationwide. And thanks for taking the time, Lonnie.
Yeah, Lonnie, we've been coming to you from the RouteMan Studios from the KCS headquarters in Pelham, Alabama. We appreciate your time and have a wonderful day and don't get sunburned.
You're welcome, guys. Hey, thank you.